What's going on, guys? This is part 2 of my WordPress tutorial, and in this video I'll be focusing on the WordPress theme and how to really customize it. If you missed part 1, in that video I covered how to actually get started with WordPress, and if you haven't actually gotten started yet, make sure you check out that video first before checking out this one. So as I mentioned, this video focuses on customizing your theme. And if you've checked out the last video, you know that I had 2 recommendations for themes, which was Schema and Yosemite. These are very simplistic themes that are great for your authority blog. For this video, I'll be using Schema Lite. And remember, Schema Lite is free for you to use. So, returning back to the WordPress dashboard, in order to get your theme, you'll have to go down to the Appearance tab, and under the Appearance tab, you'll have to select Customize. You'll then be taken to a preview of your theme where you can customize it. This is what you'll see when you first set up your theme if you're using Schema Lite. Again, this is a live preview, so most of the changes you make you will see in real time. Though there are some changes that you may need to refresh the page in order to see the visual change. So going down the list, you have a tab that lets you know which theme you have active. If you're making changes and you're not really digging the theme itself, you can also use this tab to change your theme. The next tab you have is Site Identity. This is basically your site name and your site tagline. If you watched my last video, then you know that you can also set this up in the Settings tab of the WordPress dashboard, and if you did it, it will automatically show up here. As I mentioned before, give yourself a name and a tagline that gives your readers a clear understanding of what your website is about. You can also use this tab to add a website logo and site icon. If you already have images you want to use to visually represent your brand, you can go ahead and upload them here. Otherwise, you really don't have to, at least right now anyway, but I will put some focus into creating a website name and tagline. Next is the Colors tab. The light version of Schema theme only allows you to change the colors of the header text and the background color. There are some more color options you can change, but that's in another tab, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Again, this is the light version, and the full version will have more options for you. For now though, I think this is fine. The next tab is the header image. This is an image you can place in the header. I'm not really a fan, personally, of placing images in the header, but it works for some people, and it's an option if you have an idea of how you want your website to look. Next is the background image. This will allow you to change the background image of your website. I would recommend keeping your background a solid color. Images can cause your website, as well as the elements on your website, to load slower. Next up is the menu tab. This is where you can add a menu at the top of your website that allows you to direct your readers to pages, posts, and even external links. The menu section is a great place to add links like your About, Contact, and Resources pages. You can also add pages like your privacy policy and your terms of service page up here as well. Speaking of, something I didn't mention in the last video was creating your policy and terms pages. If you need to create those pages, you can check out the site policymaker.io to create your terms of service, your privacy policy, and your disclaimer. It's free to use, and all you have to do is answer a few questions and it will generate the documentation for you. All you need to do after that is copy and paste them to the appropriate pages on your blog, and you're good. You can then add those pages to the top of your menu, and people will have direct access to the rules of your website. Getting back to the menu tab itself, you can rearrange the order of the items to show up in the menu however you like, and you can also choose whether you would like the menu to show up at the very top of the page or inside the header section. Some themes may also allow you to create a menu section at the bottom of the page, usually in the footer section. Next up is widgets. They are the little sections of content that mainly show up in either the sidebar or the footer. These are things like the recent posts section, the category section, and the archive section. These are considered widgets. If we go to the widget section in the WordPress dashboard, you can see all the widgets you have available and where you can place them. It's best to keep only a few widgets on your page at a time. Adding too many can make your blog look sloppy and may slow your website down. The widgets that make it easier for your readers to navigate through your content are probably the best widgets to use. Next down the list is homepage settings. Here, you can choose what people see when they first come to your site. You can choose between having your latest blog post show, or you can have a static page show. For your authority blog, it's best to just have your most recent post show. A static homepage is good for if you're trying to funnel your readers into a specific action, like subscribing, signing up to a course, or contacting you for consulting. But if you're just starting out, you're not going to have much traffic coming to your website, so it's best to just have your most recent post be your default homepage. That way, people can get to know you through your content. Then once you see consistent monthly traffic, then you can change up to a static homepage and start funneling those people where you want them to go. Theme settings is another section that allows you to customize your theme a little bit. When you select this tab, you'll get a few more options that we can go over really quickly. Style settings. This allows you to choose which side you want your sidebars to show up on, or to remove them altogether. You can also choose a color for the buttons of your theme, and finally you can choose if you want the home page to show the full blog post or just an excerpt that gives you a link to the full post. Pagination. This is pretty simple. If you have a lot of blog posts and they are separated into pages, you can select whether your reader sees numbers at the bottom when changing pages, or you can choose for your readers to see next or previous when they switch pages. Footer. Because this is the light version of the theme, there is already some pre-designated text there, but you can edit it. They kind of nudge you into joining their affiliate program and adding your affiliate link in this spot, and honestly, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Single post settings. Last in this list is the single post settings. These are settings that affect your individual blog posts. There are quite a few options in this tab as well, so let's take a look at them. Breadcrumb section. This is basically a visual representation of the navigational path your readers take to get to the page that they are currently viewing. If this sounds confusing, then take a look at this section here. As you can see, this is a breadcrumb trail. You have the starting designation, which is the home page, followed by the category page, followed by the page of the post. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just a visual trail of links you clicked to get to your destination. Basically, if you want to make it easier for your readers to navigate through your website, leave this option on. Tag section. When you create a blog post, you have the option to add tags to each post. This allows pages to be created based on those tags and allows you to focus your content based on those tags. I'll go into more detail about tags in part 3 of the series, but for now, if you have tags created for your blog post, they will show up at the bottom of the post. If a person clicks on one of those tags, they will be taken to a page where they will see a list of posts using the same tag. Related post sections. This one is pretty straightforward. At the end of each blog post, the reader will be shown many thumbnails of other posts on your blog related to the one they just read. It's another way of keeping readers engaged with your website. Last in this list is the author box, which shows a section dedicated to the author of the article. There's a section in the WordPress dashboard under settings where you can fill out some author information. This will show up at the top of every blog post. It's a great way to get your readers familiar with the person writing the blog posts. The final section is the CSS section. This section allows you to manually add features to your website by adding additional code to your theme. This is for advanced users, and I would leave this alone if you're just starting out. So this is basically a rundown of customizing your theme. As I mentioned before, this is the light version of the theme, and the full version will have additional customization options. The light version of this theme is great for just starting out. You won't get overwhelmed with crazy settings, and you can focus more on actually getting content out. If you make changes to your theme, you can click on the blue button on the top to either save your changes, publish the changes, or go live. Or you can even schedule the change to appear at another date. You can choose between the three options by selecting the little gear icon next to the button. Something else I forgot to mention is that you can cycle between desktop, tablet, and smartphone modes by selecting the corresponding icons at the bottom of the screen. This will allow you to see your theme and changes in real time in each mode. So, this is what I got for customizing your theme. In part 3 of this series, I will be covering creating your first blog post, how to format it so that you can rank it, and options for you to monetize your blog. If you found this useful, hit the like button and maybe leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in part 3. Take care.